think I've been hacked. My accounts are all messed up.
I was so worried about that cyber attack.
Don't worry, you have full coverage for cyber liability. Your business is protected.
Wow, another Thursday morning. Welcome to everybody here and all the listeners, and welcome back to our co-hosts. Today we've got a really special event happening. We've got Marna Roets, who's going to be talking to us about cyber. Now, one of the things that I went onto Facebook a little while ago, and there was this magnificent deal, 70% off. And I thought to myself, definitely I need to buy this product. And so I went through and I put my credit card in, and Investec actually warned me. They said, I think this is something wrong with this account, but I went ahead anyway. Well, the money's gone and the product has never arrived. So this is something that's actually facing all of us, and something real. And I'm sure all of us here have had some type of, or some form of cyber attack somewhere. So this is a really important discussion that we're going to have, and Marna's going to be talking about it and how you can actually insure against it. So it's going to be a really great session. But a quick one, welcome to Vision 2025. We're here again on the Thursday morning as usual, and every Thursday morning we meet here to give back to you as a voice. We give experts a voice so they can speak to you and they can share their experience, their skills, and their wisdom with you so that you can learn to be smarter in business. And that's what we're all about. So before we go any further, I'm going to just go around the room and ask our co-hosts to introduce themselves. Let's start with Glenn. Glenn, please introduce yourself.
Good morning, David, and everyone else on board. Looking forward to this again. Looking forward to hearing what Marna has to say. I had a bit of a challenge yesterday myself, in fact, with a particular bank, and thank goodness I managed to actually stop it before things got bad. So it's happening all the time, and it's happening to everyone. So we need to actually listen to this carefully. Looking forward to this, and yeah, Glenn is Jones, as you can see, mentors, coaching. I do life and business coaching. I do counseling and mentoring. I love to call myself your personal locksmith, simply because I love to unlock that potential that's inside you and help you step into destiny, and that's me. Thanks so much, David. Back to you.
Great. Thank you, Glenn. Welcome again to the show, and thanks for always being here. Let's go to Russell. Russell's a sales guru, so he will talk to us a little bit about what he does at OpSpec. Over to you, Russell.
Hi, David. Good morning, everyone. Yes, I'm Russell John Fagan. I own a company called OpSpec. We focus on business development, reputation management, and yeah, like David says, I don't know if I can call myself a guru, but I love sales. I love the and I'm going to use a word that Willem uses a lot. I love the energy of sales. And, you know, if you look around you, every single thing around you has been sold by someone to someone. Your sales is actually the nervous system of the body. If you've got a bad sales system, the body suffers. So, yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Thank you, David. And looking forward to you.
Thank you, Russell. Thank you very much. Let's go to Wilhelm. Welcome, Wilhelm. Wilhelm is our energy coach, life energy, and that's what makes us actually be alive and actually live our lives to the full. Over to you, Wilhelm. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, David, and all the rest of the team. It's great to be here. Yeah, I help leaders unlock their untapped potential within themselves and their teams through powerful science-backed questionnaires. We identify each person's true genius, their best role in the team, what energizes them, and how can they energize other people, of course. And this clarity doesn't just improve morale, it accelerates growth, boosts productivity, aligns everyone with their God-given purpose. When your people believe in their strengths, behave with purpose, and become their best, your business wins. So I'm a discoverer of awesome ability.
Fantastic, Wilhelm. Great. Thanks for being here. And now let's quickly go to Marna. Marna Roets is someone really special in my heart, and she's going to talk to us today about cyber. But Marna is actually insurance broker, but not just an insurance broker. Maybe, Marna, you can just quickly introduce yourself and tell us why you're not just an insurance broker.
Well, I think you just said it. I'm special. No, I think why we do so well is that we really care. We think about the human factor of every business, because I mean, businesses are run by people. So once you take care of the people, the rest will just happen by itself. So we do short-term insurance. We do from your imports, your exports, from the goods that comes into the country, onto a truck, to the manufacturer. We do the whole manufacturing process, right up until it reaches the final destination. And then my passion, of course, is liability. I'm absolutely passionate about liability, and especially cyber liability. It's a very interesting field, but also difficult and a very sad one if something bad happens to your clients. Yeah, that's me.
Thank you, Marna. Thank you very much. Just a little bit about myself. My name is David Barr. I'm a bid architect. I help companies actually win tenders and proposals. That's my focus. But I found my purpose in life at the age of 63. Can you believe this? And that purpose is to give you a voice. And I do that through Vision 2025, as we're doing today. I also do that through One eSIM Africa, where I give you global connectivity. Anywhere in the world, you can connect through your One SIM. And then the last thing I do is obviously Vision 2025, where I actually give you a chance to come and voice your opinions and share your experience and your skills and your wisdom. So great. So today we're going to be talking with Marna. Marna's going to be sharing a presentation with us today about cyber, something really important to all of us. I'm going to hand over to you, Marna. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Now I just need to remember how. There you go. I'm on. So yes, good morning. I'm going to talk to you about cyber today, and it's something that affects every single person and every single human being in the whole world. And I think since COVID, it's even so much worse, because the cyber hackers just have enough time to learn more about how to make our lives a misery. So let's go to. I'm going to go to the next slide. David, I don't know if you want to do that link at the bottom, but have you ever been? I'm still battling to pronounce even that word, but yeah, I want David to put it in either in the joint chat, and then I want to ask you a question. Who on this group today has ever checked their email, or whether it's been breached or whether it's still safe? I just gave you a free tool. If you click on that link, I want you to maybe tell us about what you found on your own email address. David did it last night, and one of these email addresses actually was breached at some point in time. So this is very important, so that you remember you are in control of your own life. No one else can do it for you. Need to go to the next slide. Hacks are real, guys. It's really, really real. And I've just taken a couple of these incidents that I wanted to talk to you about, and recent ones. In May, the 3rd of May, 2025, this year, there was a hacker. A hack on is a by a group called INC. And they've taken over all their systems, their website, their mobile app, their internal systems. But luckily, they were prepared, and the operations was restored the same day. So this is happening every day around us. You try to book a flight, doesn't want to work. The big chances are that that site was hacked by someone. So this is very important also with the POPIA Act. I know we also have to be compliant, because what information do they store? They've got all our information. They've got our banking details, they've got our addresses, they've got our email addresses, and that's how these people get access to our information. So it's still an ongoing investigation. And in July this year, they suggested that some of our personal information that was stored on these systems was available to these hackers. But I think the lesson we learned here is that they acted fast and they were ready for this type of happening. Then I want to talk to you about the government, and it feels like our military and government is under siege by the cyber threats in South Africa. So if you look at the statistics on this, 3,480 weekly attacks per organization in our government and military. In July this year, the new stats came out, 3,803. This is double the global average. This is huge. This is our military. This is our government. And it's not only South Africa, it's worldwide. And then I just want to talk about disruptive incidents that happened also this year. The national health blood testing was in a complete shutdown for a very long period of time. They could not even get their blood results at the hospitals that they asked for. This is life-threatening. I mean, if you are admitted to a hospital with a life-threatening disease and the doctors are trying to find out what's wrong with you, it took some time for them just to get the result. The CIPC, there was the breach of business and the IP systems. The pension funds and the data, citizens' data from the GEPF, that was also a big hack. And the lesson is, cyber is resilient and they don't give up. If they want the information, believe me, they are going to get it. It's like a competition amongst them. Who's going to get there first? And then last night, I got a new car 2 weeks ago, one of those smart cars. We think it's very nice and smart to have a smart car, but you have to be very careful also. With that also comes, a risk. So I was very impressed. I put my phone in the middle on that console and the phone mirrors to my dash cam and everything that, you can see it there. Everything that's on my phone, I can actually see in the car. So those capability, they use Wi-Fi scans and it searched for available networks, just like your phone would do when you drive. It searched for an opening, where they can look, use the Wi-Fi around you. So there are certain risks with cars that are connected like that. You can be linked to an unsecure network. Cars, we all know what internet of things are. So our cars is vulnerable just as those things are. There could be privacy leakages, attack surfaces expands. You've got multiple things that you can hook into your car that can bring viruses onto your system. So there are so many ways. So when I came back last night, I actually went into the Wi-Fi to see what actually happens with my car and my phone. What does it pick up? And as I came into the estate, I waited until I'm in the estate, not on the highway. And it actually identified all the people around me in our estate, their Wi-Fi name, their router's name. And it also shows whether this router is secured or not, or do you need a password for it. So just imagine a hacker just driving around in an estate. He can sit literally in his car right next to your gate and hack into your system. So you have to be very careful that you switch your Wi-Fi off when you are not using it, because it is so easy just to get into somebody's personal detail by just driving past their house. This is how scary. It's not even your house, your portal. I want to tell you a story. One of our insurers a couple of years asked someone to hack them to see how good their systems are. So they made an appointment with this guy, and he came. He was a professional hacker, and he came to their offices, but nobody saw him. And hour went by, 2 hours went by, and they thought, where is this guy? He didn't reach. So they phoned him. He said, no, I'm done. What information do you want? It took him literally 3 minutes to get all the information that they had on their client just by parking next to their gate. So this is how easy it is for a hacker to get into your system and your personal information or your client's information. And then this is something that is very close to my heart. I mean, we as parents, it's so easy to keep the children busy, give them a phone, and they're happy, and you can go on and do life. They are exposed to social media. They are being scammed into oversharing. Before you know it, you play a game with somebody, or your child plays a game and they get friendly and they think, okay, I'm 16, the person I'm talking to is 16. But that's not always the case. So it might be somebody on the other line and they get information and they share pictures. Unfortunately, they would go to the bathroom and they would share very unsavory pictures with each other. Online predators and groomers, they are there. They are waiting for the right moment to take control of your child's life. And that's where they find your child. And before you know it, their innocence is gone. Cyberbullying is a big thing. I've actually wanted to look at the stats. I think that has changed, but the stats regarding cyberbullying and self-harm and those type of things, that's where the kids learn from each other how to do it. And then, that information your child loads onto the net is there forever. It can't be taken away, and it will follow them for the rest of their lives. This is really, we need to be so careful in how we control and make sure that our children are not so vulnerable when they are using the internet. In malware, via games and apps, if you run a business from home and your child plays games, and they've got free range on what they download on your system or on your network, unknowingly they might click on something and think it's a game, play the game, but before you know it, they've clicked on a phishing link. Identity theft, that's the biggest thing at the moment. They pay a very high price on the black market for your child's identity, because, say for example, your child is 13, they have stolen her identity. They can use it for such a long time before you actually notice that her identity or his identity has been stolen and sold on the dark web. And then to restore that, I don't really want to go in there. It's a nightmare on its own. This is really playing with. This might be the friend I think is 16 or 12 or 13 or 20 or 21. But in essence, it's a middle-aged man just looking for information or pictures or whatever he wants to do with that information. In this, the why, I'm thinking about all these business coaches and life coaches that tells us we need to find the why in our lives. And I think these guys went to you. They found their why. And the biggest gain for them and why they're doing it is financial gain. So what they do is they would hack a system and they would get all this information. They would go to the dark web and people would bid on the information and the type of information. So if they would steal personal information, the higher flyer the guy is or the person is they stole the information, the bigger price they will get. For our normal plebs down at the ground, maybe we're not a bit cheaper, but thing is, they would sell your information to the highest bidder. Somebody asked me the other day, I get all these emails. I don't know where they get my information from, or you will get these phone calls saying, do you need insurance? Do you need that? Do you need this? Don't wonder where that information came from. Somewhere, how some company's details was hacked and your information was probably there, and that's how they get your information. They've got access to what car you drive, they've got access to where you live, they've got access to how many children you have, they've got access to your banking details. Just on that, a couple of years ago, one of the bigger banks was hacked. And not by some very old person or a very, it was a young guy, it was a child. I think he was 16 at the time. And he did it just because he could. So just imagine if somebody who wanted to sell that information got hold of all your financial details. That is how difficult it is today. So then you get espionage. I mean, that people just hack because they want to do harm to a company or the states. Governments also does that, maybe to big companies or other countries. And then hacktivism. And then, just I'm curious, can I do it? And they sometimes just hack because they can. And then they don't realize, or maybe they don't care about all the financial losses you have. And the biggest loss for us as companies or people, or even our children, is reputational damage. It's something that you really, really hardly recover from. And then there's revenge or malice. You might have an employee who's very angry at you, and you thought, okay, I'm going to get you back. And that's how they do it. And I think the biggest part of hacking comes from inside. Biggest percentage of that, somebody that's been angry, or somebody knows something about somebody, and they say, oh, well, I want this information, or I'm going to tell the world what you did. You will also, I think a lot of you must have received emails to say, yes, I know what you've done. I've got access to your camera and you need to pay me X amount, or I know how you look at porn, or how you do that. So what they do is they don't necessarily have access to your camera, or they might have, but what they do, they send millions of the same worded email to millions of people. And out of that million people, maybe 20 or 30 or 500 or 1,000 or 10,000 people might have done what they accused them of doing, and they will fall for that. So be very careful when you open these emails or click on any links. To the next one. What does a hacker look like? It might look like the next person next to you, or the child that your children plays with, or a friend at school, or it might look like a gardener. It might look like any business person. So you can't really tell what a hacker looks like. It's not somebody who just wears a hoodie and sitting in this dark room and now he's hacking all these people around him. And their motives range from money, politics, to personal grudges. And then I want to tell you about the business, the hacking business. And the more I read up about this and I do research about it, I think I'm in the wrong business. And Russell, there's even a job for you there. So they've got a proper business that runs like a proper corporate business. I've actually created a business here, Hackers Inc., the dark side of business, the office cyber crime edition. And there's Fricky, the cyber Fricky with the blicky. So how to work? They've got a receptionist. She's responsible for taking the calls and transferring you to the right person. And she's also the first face. She's the window of the business, which is responsible for the customer service. Yes, they actually have customer service, and I think sometimes better than I think David can tell you about his experience going to the municipality. So they've got customer service. The sales team, these people negotiate the ransom. So you go through to the receptionist, they put you through to the sales team, and you get assigned a person who's going to deal with your file. They negotiate the ransom, and they can even grant you discount. Pay me within 20 days or 2 weeks or whatever the case may be, and I'll give you a 50% discount. They've got a marketing team. They really do. They've got a marketing team. This marketing team would go out, find buyers on the dark web. It's like a vraag en aanbod. What do you want? What do you need? Do you need to know how many people drive the Mitsubishi? How many people does this? How many people drive the Hilux? And they will sell that information to the dark web. But they are good people too, because if you do pay up, they will not release the information, because they've got to be out there. People need to know that they actually are paying when they say they are going to pay, because they want to hack again. They've got a finance department. I mean, if you've got all this money, somebody needs to take care of it. So your finance department would handle your crypto payments, your tracking, make sure the money comes in, and then let the sales team know, okay, I've received the money. You can give the information or the data back to whoever you've taken it from, or no, this person is not going to pay. Release it to the highest bidder. And then also you need somebody to do the laundering of the money, because what are you going to do with it? You can't just use it. You need to launder it somehow. So they have very clever, high quality people, qualified people that does their finances for them. And they even got a HR department, and that they use to recruit new hackers. And like any other corporate business, yep, they head on like us. They're going to find the best of the best in the market and pay high quality salaries. So I think there's a space for any one of us in this business. It's good business by the sound of it, just so long you not get caught. And then how to protect yourself. I didn't do a very big thing on how to protect yourself. If I talk about cyber, I can go on for hours and hours and hours, but time is limited. But how do you protect yourself? I think the biggest thing you need to do, guys, if you receive an email for an invoice from Takealot and you have not ordered from Takealot, please do not click on that link. Chances are that this is a phishing attempt trying to get your information. They can be on your system for as long as 3 years before they actually do something. And by the time they do something, they know your passwords. They know everything about you. So be very careful what you click on, who you give your information to. Enable multi-factor authentication, strong and unique passwords. Guys, you need to have a better password than password. You need to have a better password than your date of birth or your spouse's name or your children's name and their date of birth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are the ones that in seconds they've got the detail. So think about something that nobody knows about you and change it constantly. Don't keep the same password for as long as you live. They are going to hack you. Check out for emails. I get emails on a daily basis from Standard Bank. If you don't bank at Standard Bank or at SAP or Netbank or whatever bank it is, please do not open that email. Delete and block. Delete and block. The moment you click on that, it's over away and you have opened your life. Keep your software up to date. If you are using Microsoft or your computer requests you to download upgrades, please do that because it safeguards you from somebody to get into your computer. Because every time a hacker gets away into a computer, the software developers patches it up. So you need to download and do your upgrades regularly. This is so important. Even on your phones, if there's a download, I know sometimes for me it's very irritating. I just, I'll do it later. Don't do it later. Rather do it now before you land yourself into big trouble. And just a couple of cyber tips on the children. Again, keep the devices secure. I think the main thing about children and the internet is communication. And I think like in any relationship, anything in life, communication is the biggest way you can safeguard your family. Talk about what's happening out there. Ask about what they're doing. And let them have the openness to come and talk to you if something doesn't sound good to them. So also teach them about passwords. Also teach them to use passwords like not their name or their address. Sometimes I saw people that add their cell phone number into a password. I mean, that's the easiest way to find someone's password. They've got programs that they can just plug in and within seconds, they have so many things on you that possible passwords. So make it something that nobody knows what your password is. Cybersecurity tips for businesses. Again, train your employees. Communication. It's important that your employees knows exactly what to look out for. Like they would send you an invoice and you would think, okay, yes, I bought something, and then you click on that invoice and next moment you get a ransom screen on your computer. Use paid antivirus and software firewalls. There are so many freebies out there, and I know, money is tight sometimes, but rather pay for the antivirus and software firewalls that you use on your computer. Backups is so important. Make sure that you have a backup system in place. So if something happens, that you can go back and restore your information. I think the biggest nightmare for any IT guy is if they come to you and you say, "Oh, I think I've been hacked," or "I think something happened," and say, "Where's your backup?" Sorry, they can't help you then. And then the implementation of a multi-factor authentication, also important, because then they've got more ways, you've got more gates for them to jump over before they get to your information. So they are rather going to go for somebody who doesn't have anything on the computer. So make it difficult for them. Don't make it easy for them. And then again, there was a huge company in South Africa that was hacked about 3 years ago. And what the hackers said that, it was so easy, and we kind of needed to teach you a lesson. Because what the IT guy did was he had to do some work on the server, and he changed the password temporarily, thinking, okay, I don't have time to think about a password now. Let's just use password. And the hackers was very arrogant about it. And, we want to teach you a lesson. You need to use a proper password. You're a proper company. You need to use this password, proper password. And they were hacked. They had to pay millions and millions of rands to the hackers to not release the information into, I can't say the name, but into, the dark web. Use strong passwords. If you look at that top password, it would take 34,000 years just to uncipher that, because it means nothing. It means nothing to this person's life. It has no, doesn't have a birth date or child's name or anything like that into it. So make sure that the password you use is a strong one, and also change it regularly. Don't keep your same password for longer than 3 months, I would suggest. And yeah, that is me. I hope all of you that watched in used that link that I shared. I would like to know, and if you can maybe comment and see what you came up with on your search. Thank you, David.
Sure, that was a masterclass in cyber technology and how they do it. Thank you so much, Marna. Wow, fantastic. I really enjoyed that. And, I had an incident, as Marna was just talking about a little while ago. It was actually 2 weeks ago. So what happened was my tenants, unfortunately, hadn't paid the electricity and water bills. So they cut off the water and electricity at my home that I'm renting out. So anyway, long story short, I went through to the municipality, sat there for hours, thought I'd sorted it out, and came home with the anticipation of it all being switched back on within, they said, 72 hours. So the next day, I get this WhatsApp from this gentleman, Calvin, his name is. You can go and search him on the web, on the internet. You'll see the type of person he is. So he sends me this very, very well-written WhatsApp, and he says, I'll be at your house, and he gave the address of the house at this time, within 2 hours, to come and cut off your electricity. And I was like, beside myself. I was like, you should be switching it on, not switching it off. So anyway, I communicated with him I tried to phone him back on WhatsApp. He wouldn't take my call. So I WhatsApped him, and he said to me, no, he's very busy cutting off other people right now, but he'll get back to me. But he'll be there in 2 hours. So I was now beside myself. I tried to WhatsApp him. I sent him a message. I wanted to even send him proof of payment that I'd done, and so on and so forth. But anyway, before I kind of did that, something was niggling me in the back of my mind. I thought, let me go home. And at that time I was driving, so you can imagine the stress levels that I had. So I get home and I go onto my computer and I think, okay, let me put this guy's name and telephone number into onto my computer. So I searched on Google, and guess what? beware, this guy is a scammer. But the frightening
Well,
thing
don't
was,
believe everything you read, because I know they're watching you. I want to quickly tell you, if I have time, about this friend of mine. Let's call him Fricky. 2 years ago, he phoned me one day in a frantic state and said, Marna, I am in big trouble. He didn't use the word trouble. He actually used the very, it wasn't trouble. And I said, what happened? He said, you know what? I received this WhatsApp from some lady of the night that said that she has got all this information and what we correspond, and she's got pictures and of us, and she's going to release it to my wife. And I said, okay, come, let's talk. I need to know more about what happened. How did you get to it? And how did they get your information? The same way I explained earlier is they would send this information to a whole lot of people. But in his case, he was a little bit guilty. So the person that called him, he did contact her and he did make an appointment with her. But on his way there, he decided, no, he's not going to do it. And his conscience got the better of him and he decided not to do this. But guess what? Now she's got his information. So first she said to him, okay, you know what? We had an appointment. You didn't pitch up. And now I am going to, I need that money. I mean, I'm going to be in trouble with whoever person I'm working for, so you need to pay me. So what he did is he paid her. So now they've got proof that they paid. He paid for a lady at the night for a good time. So on and on they got. By the time he got to me, he'd already lost 40,000 rand. So then her pimp phoned him and said, okay, I'm at the police station now, and we are on our way to arrest you. They even had a copy of a document of an arrest order to come and arrest him. But you have there's an app available where you can actually simulate handwriting. So that's what they did. But on that app, if you write a certain word, they can't change the word that looks different. I mean, when we do a handwriting, our T's is not exactly the same. So what Andre and I did is we mirrored the words that were similar or the same, or the letters that are same to each other, and they were exactly the same. That's how we knew it's not the original document. And this guy was actually just being scammed out of his money. So the long and the short story of it, we started working with it, and the group that was at that time busy scamming people is now in jail. So I've got millions of these stories, and I can go on and on and on about that. So you have to be very careful. Just ignore it and block the number. But please do not engage with these people. And they can be very dangerous. They've even sent in pictures of him standing in the police station, taking a picture and say, I'm here, I'm on the way, and we're going to come and arrest you. Either you pay or we're on our way to arrest. I can take it away. But if I do take it away, I need to pay somebody to make it go away. So that's how they do it, and they take your money. So especially for the guys, please be very careful when you engage with these WhatsApps or emails.
Oh, that's very frightening. I'm going to go around the room and just ask for some comments and questions, and I'm going to start with Glenn. Glenn, please.
It's actually quite scary when you hear things like this, and you know about it in the background, but when it actually happens and you hear stories like this, it makes you think, I need to be a little bit more aware. And a couple of times just this past week, I've had people on WhatsApp making contact with me and asking things, and I'm thinking, this is not kosher. So you've got to be very aware. And the unfortunate thing is many older folk are being scammed like crazy because they don't really have that experience and they don't understand. And they come across as being so good and kind to everyone, So it's a major, major problem. It really is. A couple of things have happened over the past couple of years where I've been scammed. Thank goodness it hasn't been that much in terms of finances loss, but still, it's out there and we have to be aware of it. And so, Marna, you're quite correct. We need to be far more aware and far more reactive in terms of these things. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Glenn. Absolutely. Let's go to Russell. Russell, over to you.
Thank you, Marna. That was insightful. I think 99% of us have gone through a scam of some sort or tried. I cannot tell you how many emails I get about DHL. This is another new thing that I've experienced the last couple of weeks, where your DHL package is ready for delivery. You need to pay a delivery, and it's not a lot. It's like 12 Rand 60 or something like that you have to pay for the delivery fee. And if you're stupid enough to go and do that, then they've got access to your banking details. So yeah, I've been in a workshop. Yeah, I've been in a workshop before where they then showed us how to do, how to scan your emails. I get a lot of stuff where I don't even open the link because it's no one I know. It's not associated with anything that I'm doing. So I went onto that site with my two mail. I've got quite a few emails, but my two main emails, which is OrbSpec and obviously my Gmail, my personal one that I've had forever. I think when I came out of Noah's Ark, I joined Gmail at that stage. That's how long I've had it.
You're very lucky.
Yeah, and they both came up negative, as in congratulations, you haven't. So, but I think part of my and I don't want to punt any product, but I think part of my safety is I am with Apple. I've been with Apple for the last 20 years, and their computer, software that's standard on the product and on your phones and so on is top of the art. So I don't get hacked there. Where I do have a problem is obviously with the credit card fraud that goes on there. I've luckily never lost because I've got the money back after lodging the case with Nedbank. But thank you, Marna. It was great hearing and just being reminded. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I just want to add some stats quickly if I can. I mean, 34.5 million South African accounts has been breached in the first quarter of 2024. 53 million average breach, up to 316 million rand severe, 2.2 billion annual cost to the South African economy. 70% of small businesses was hit by cyber. Has cyber attacks on an annual basis. 60% of these businesses close their doors. They can never open again. They've lost everything. And then 90% of the attacks start with an email. And 70% of the attacks comes from within your company.
Sure. That's quite incredible. Well, actually nice to share that information. Perhaps what we can do is make a little graph of that and post that in the newsletter that's coming up. Thanks, Marna. Thanks, Russell. Let's go to Wilhelm. Wilhelm, have you been hacked and is your email safe?
Well, I didn't do that check as yet, but I will. I'm too scared to do that, but I will do it. I was hacked also, and it's interesting how things happen. Now, the other day, I just want some little bit of legal advice, and I thought this is a South African thing because there's South African names on that and whatever. And I asked a stupid question about labor issues and so on, and they to give me the answer, I just have to pay 15 Rand. So no problem. I mean, these guys, they give me some good advice for 15 Rand, and I pay the 15 Rand. And well, at the end of the day, they didn't really give me a good answer, a typical ChatGPT answer. I could have done it myself. But and then after a while, there was over 600 and something deducted from my account for whatever. And then I say, but I never, they don't even know my name, it's I don't know. And they said, no, I applied for that and I'm a member now and whatever, and I can cancel it, then it will be not deducted the next month. But the 600 Rand, and I even went to my bank and asked them about this situation, they couldn't even reverse it. It's done and dusted. 600 and something Rand lost. And that is what happened. It's so easy. It's so easy because online things are so easy. I mean, a little bit of legal advice is so easy, but when they got your card details and I had to stop my card and all those things, you know. So yes, definitely that happened. What comes to me in this whole situation is the word fear. We are so fearful of life nowadays, and you know, fear is your biggest energy draining factor. Because of fear of COVID and all those things, the earth was stopped just like that by the power of fear. And it really drained a lot of energy, and it burned people out, and it becomes overwhelming. And you know, we need to, you mentioned the fact that we need to pay to be secured and whatever, but there's no money for food anymore, because it's just to protect you. At my home, my alarm system, this, that. So we live in excessive fear nowadays. And yes, the one thing that I can just say as well is, don't go there where sin is, you know. Because sin will lead you in suffering. And the other thing is, just listen to your gut. Listen to your gut, and you feel there's something wrong here, but you still press that button, hey, David? You just you do it, and
You can't help yourself.
and ask, you know, before you do something. Ask somebody, what do you think? Even your wife that's not so clever in this, whatever things you're busy with, they know. You know, women are absolutely fantastic things. They got more gut feeling. They got that sixth, or what's it, seventh sense or sixth sense. Yeah. And just ask, or call a friend. Call a friend and call your brother and say, what do you think of this? And immediately my brother usually say, are you crazy? That's a scam. And for some reason I didn't saw it. And so often I can see, if somebody else come to me and say this, then I immediately say that's a scam. But you are so involved, they pull you in with this thing that you're busy with, that you so easily press that button. So talk to people, stay away of places that you should not be, prevent the sin and prevent the stress, because that burn you out. That's my story.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marna. That was incredible. Thank you.
And who doesn't like to win a little bit of money? Hey, they send all these, your friend would send to your WhatsApp and say, click on this link and then invite another 10 friends or another 20 friends and I can win something. Oh, please don't go there. Please, 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 please don't do that. You never know what you're going to land with. No, please, please don't do that.
Wow, that was so interesting. Thanks so much, Marna. Thanks for Leland. Thanks, Glenn. Thanks, Russell. So be careful out there, guys, and take care. And we've basically run out of time, so I'm just going to ask for one word takeaway from each of the co-hosts, and then ask Marna just to wrap up and just ask where one can contact her if necessary. Glenn, please give us your one word.
There's one word that I often pray about, and that is the word discernment. We need to have discernment to know truth from everything else. And I think that's the strong word for me. Have discernment.
Discernment. Very good word. Thank you. Russell, I know you go for a sentence normally.
2 words. Protect yourself.
Really?
Protect yourself.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, Helen?
I can't help to comment on discernment. Not everybody have discernment. That's a genius. So find the people that have discernment and ask them, because they will help you to have discernment. They will give you they know, people know they got that genius in there. So find the right person and ask them. But don't be fearful. My word, stay offline as much as possible. Don't be connected too much, because that's the problem.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. For myself, when I was dealing with this guy, initially there was a lot of anxiety that I felt with regard to this Kelvin chap who basically WhatsApped me, because I couldn't understand. I spent the whole day, the previous day at the municipality, trying to get everything switched on, as I'm sure a lot of us have done. And then the next day, this guy's coming out to switch it off again. And for me, it was very I had a lot of anxiety in the whole thing. But as what happened was I thought about it, and then I thought, okay, let me go and search. So that's one very good way to search, because other people will post on various people that are scamming them. So you will find something on the internet. So it's a good check just to see, hold on, is this guy real or not real, or what's going on? Just to end that story, I actually went to the municipality, and I spoke to one of the managers there about it, and they didn't know about it. And the one gentleman said to me, okay, so why don't we do this? Text him back, say we're going to meet at a certain place, organize for the police to be there, and then nab him. I thought that was a brilliant idea. I didn't do it, but it's something to think about. Marna, please wrap up and tell us where people can get hold of you, and just your last words.
Yes, I think if I can just leave you with one tip on David's story about ordering online or ordering from Facebook. It's always a good idea just to go and look at the comments at the bottom. So open a link on your Facebook and just go and look at the comments. I promise you somebody would have something bad to say about the product. And make sure that the person that you are buying that from is verified. So research the company. I mean, go to Google and ask Google, who are these people, and have a proper telephone number, and then maybe phone them. Or if I receive an email and I don't doesn't look good, I'll Google a number and I'll phone that company. I'll ask them, do you know what this is? And I think 99% of the time we say, oh, sorry, please don't open it, we've been hacked. So yeah, that's one tip. So knowledge is power. Research, and educate yourself on what's going on. Information are available on the net. Same net they used to hack you, but that's also to our advantage. Also, just educate yourself. I am going to do a tip thing for David to share as well, so that which is more information on how you can actually protect yourself. It's not foolproof, but the more you know, the better for yourself.
There's a few tips on the comments channel, so I'm going to ask Marna just to go and have a look at those and just comment on them. Actually, I'd ask all of you to do that. It'd be great. So next week, we've got our networking session, and we invite all of you to come on board and come and share your challenges. We do that on Zoom, so you'll be able to see everybody and be able to talk to everybody. And we'll just share ideas, share who we are, share our challenges, and perhaps there will be somebody who can help you. So come and join us on that. For the month of September, we've got a very interesting challenge happening. It's called the G20 Alleviation of Poverty Challenge. I will be sharing some information on that on the LinkedIn and the YouTube and the Facebook. So please go and look at that. It's something that you can all participate in. It's something really great. But other than that, have a fantastic week. And again, thank you, Marna, for staying up late last night to finish this presentation. And it was a great presentation, a lot of value, and I really appreciate it, and we all do. So thank you very much. And have a blessed week, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week, this same time. Cheerio, everyone. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
I think I've been hacked. My accounts are all messed up.
I was so worried about that cyber attack.
Don't worry, you have full coverage for cyber liability. Your business is protected.